All right. Welcome everybody here, Marietta. Welcome to all of our wonderful people on Zoom. We have quite a treat here today. At our company here at Century 21 Masters, we're very fortunate to have a wide variety of, let's call them characters at our company. We have a wide variety of, let's call characters. That seems like a fair word. But we really are also very privileged that, in our company, not just I'm live here in Marietta, but all throughout our company, we do have a lot of military veterans that work here at Century 21 Masters, something we're obviously very proud of. And I was putting together some classes for March, and I'm just kind of like, oh, what can we do? What can we do? And then it dawned on me, I'm like, we've got some military veterans that on the lending and real estate side are doing some pretty amazing things. So what better panel to have than have military veterans who are now doing extremely successful in real estate and lending. And so one, whenever you're going to do a panel, just so everybody knows, if you ever decide to do a podcast or a panel, there's a couple of really important things you need to know. One, you got to have a great topic, which we have. Veterans who are doing well in real estate. Two, you need to have people that are actually entertaining to listen to, which we will have here. And three, you have to find people that will say yes to you, which is why I asked these three. So it's very key components if you ever want to do a panel or podcast or anything like that, just so you're all aware. Also, as you all know, we clearly have a very united front of Bloods and Crips here on our panel. We did not plan this, but I see the three of them come and they're wearing their power red. And this morning I was like, I'm wearing my power blue. And then I'm like, all right, we're a united front here at Century 21 Masters. So very excited. The fact that you all did not plan this is rather impressive. So good job. All right, so we're going to jump into this. So I'm going to first introduce our panel members. And so I'm always going to start with ladies first. We have Tiffany Casey. We have Mr. Ranu Mali and Mr. Angel Escorbano. So everybody give them a round of applause. All right. Very exciting stuff here. All right. So I'm going to jump right into it because I know I want to be valuable of everyone's time and I want to try to get as much out of this as we can. So you three can just kind of pass the mic around. First of all, thank you for doing this. Okay, and I really appreciate it. We're going to get a lot out of this, not only here live, but everyone on Zoom. We've got a lot of really powerful things to go over. All right, so let's jump into it. So first question I have for you is, what branch in the military did you serve? Introduce yourself, branch of the military.
Angel Escorbano. All of us served in the United States Navy.
United States Navy. Okay, fantastic. And what was your rank? What was your title?
So Ron and I were in logistics. We were actually a retail services specialist. So our job was to make as much money for our command, whether it was a carrier, a ship, or shore duty. We served as instructor. Ron was instructor of the year. I served as recruiter. I was recruiter of the year. So we had different capacities, but our main trade, our main occupation was to make as much money as possible. We had a ship store. We had vending machines. We had a coffee bar. We one time reached out to Starbucks and we're like, you guys in the Navy should work together. So if you go on board a ship, say around 5 a.m, there's a long line. It looks like we have In-N-Out, but we actually are serving coffee.
Oh, wow.
And so we take that money and in return, it goes back to the military and their families, subsidized Padres games, football games. If we go overseas and we do tours like in Singapore, we get subsidized tickets. So all the money, even at the exchanges and the commissaries, they go back to the military families. And Tiffany's job was more technical. I'll have her tell you more about that.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So my job was the data analyst for aircraft, helicopters, planes, all the service equipment that they would use. So I call it a combat AZ, which basically you do managing, you do scheduling, you do the maintenance and reports and things like that. So kind of like real estate, but for planes.
Yeah, data analyst for planes, real estate agent. Everyone could see the comparison.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Makes complete sense. Yes.
Got it. All right. Ron, even though Angel kind of answered your question for you.
He already said it.
All right, he already said it. Okay. All right, fantastic. Okay, so first of all, before we get into it, thank you for your service. and to our country. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much to all three of you. So let's give them, first of all, a round of applause for that. All right, good stuff. Okay, so let's jump into this. So I'm going to start with kind of some questions on how military leads into real estate, and then we'll just kind of get into some actual real estate stuff here. But the first question I had here is, what specific skills from the military gave you an advantage in real estate? Whoever wants to go first.
I guess I'll tie it into what I did, which was the admin side of things. So you have the data, you have the reports, you have the daily things that they say, watch for the market to know what's going on in the market. You got to know how to serve your clients. So it's the same thing in aviation maintenance, making sure all the data, all the reports are good to go.
So you're probably pretty good with market stats.
I love them.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Angel?
Having done real estate a few years now, I'd say there's three skills that were from the military to real estate really helped us out a lot, especially me, is discipline, listening, and solution skills. So a lot of this, you have to be disciplined to do things day in and day out. Stuff that's not fancy, it's not exciting, but you have to do these daily things. You know, one of them for me is reading a paragraph in the Bible, then from there go to the gym, then from there follow up, follow up. The other thing is listening, because whether you have a buyer, a seller, someone looking for a loan, you have to listen because they're going to bring to you a unique situation, a unique challenge. If the more you listen and like find the need behind the need when you're listening to that client, the more you can serve them. Because if you just let them say one or two things, you're going to try to deliver a product that they don't need. And no two clients are the same, whether buyer, seller, investor looking for a loan. And the other part is then finding the solution for what they're sharing with you. And I think those three things were the biggest takeaways from the military, and they're serving us really well in real estate now.
Got it. All right, Ron. And try to hold the mics closer.
Yeah, I think in addition to that, I think it's leadership,
okay,
and communication. Leadership and communication is one of the most important things, because especially in this business, right? You got to have some leadership skills. Even though folks think that you don't need leadership skills, you have to have leadership skills. When you're talking to folks, especially communication, follow up, follow through, you will see how many agents do not communicate properly with a client, with another agent, with a title, with an escrow, or whoever it is. But you could tell the difference. I could tell that if it's going to be a good transaction from day one. Mm-hmm. If they know how to communicate with me, it's going to be smooth. If from day one, it's like you're pulling information out of there behind from the get-go, just to get stuff going, I think it's going to be rough. Right. So what I would do is try to avoid it, quick. And if there's a lot of different choices, you could tell already. So if I know it's going to be rough communicating with these folks, I know I'm going to have to change route.
Yeah.
And make it smooth as possible. That's the reason why I think 90% of our transaction has always been smooth as butter, because you identify that right away. And the leadership comes with that as well.
Got it.
Sometimes you have to take charge of the situation, not knowing that you're taking charge, not allow, they don't know that you're in charge, but you're guiding them through the process. But your leadership comes into play.
Got it.
Simple.
Okay. So let me ask the follow-up question to that. What from the military did not translate to real estate? What were some challenges coming from the military into real estate that you had to overcome?
So making, the military, it's so structured, right? There's a little bit of room for creativity, not a lot, but it's really structured. Everything's already spelled out. Where here we have a lot of room for creativity. Mm-hmm. There's a lot from the marketing. If you enjoy marketing, something as social media, business cards, flyers, there's more creativity here. So if you go from the military here and you still have that creative bone hasn't been beaten out of you after 20 plus years, you're going to flourish here because you could just, Ron Amali to Fannie, they have some awesome social media videos and pictures. And then they stay on top of the trends. So I would say the creativity, the non-creativity, that there's only so much you could do in the military. If you stayed structured here without thinking about that, probably won't help in getting your name out there.
Mhm.
You know, so I would say the creativity part.
Okay. Ron?
I don't know how to, you said what doesn't?
Yeah.
or
So,
didn't?
what was there anything coming from the military into real estate was like, well, this is different. This is something I kind of have to overcome.
I would say in the military, we're where we're told to be, you
Mhm.
know, and I find in this industry, we have people that don't want to show up.
It's the nicest way to say it.
You know, they're not here. We got to be there at 6 in the morning, 0600.
Yeah.
Since I treat it like a real business, I'm here at 8 a.m.
Mhm.
You know, so it was kind of weird to not see everyone
Yeah.
at the office at the same time.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's gonna answer your question, but it's funny when we became a civilian, we noticed how folks don't share each other knowledge.
Mhm.
They like to keep the knowledge to themselves.
Mhm.
So we were so used in the military that, you know what, nobody keeps the secret. You're not gonna be the person keeps the secret. You got to share that knowledge. So in the chief's mess, to make it strong, we have to know each other's job. Just like in a ship, you got to be a firefighter.
Mhm.
You know, you have to be the cop. When you become a chief in the military, you're enforcing the law for the whole command. So being outside is kind of weird at first because, you know, you tell them to do something, they kind of ask questions like, oh, why are we doing this? In the military, you don't have time to ask questions.
Right.
Get it done, and then you ask questions later. You see? So here, why are we doing this? Why? Shut. You know, let's get it done.
Yeah.
Basically, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you answered your question, but
Yeah.
it's so simple. If so, that discipline, this is what we need to do. When what's the name? Keith showed me, Ron, this is how you get the Quality Service Award, and he showed me. He just showed me the ladder. We call it the ladder for promotion in the military, right? In the Navy. These are the things you need to do to get to chief, senior chief, and master chief. So you follow that ladder,
Mhm.
you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
So Keith showed me those things. I said, all right, cool. I'll get it done. Boom, 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 and it's done. Same thing with UWM lending. This is what you need to do to stay on top, to be, what is that top tier? Pro elite.
Mhm.
And just do it,
Mhm.
and it's done.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah.
All you have to do, the knowledge is everywhere. The funny thing is, people like to collect knowledge like it's cool, but not apply it.
Mhm.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
So, like collecting college degrees, right?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with all these degrees? Collecting licenses. They're collecting. I want to be a mortgage broker. I want to
Every
be a real
parent
estate.
who's paying for college right now is like, come on, man.
If you're gonna get them, apply it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, I got
If
it.
you're gonna be a realtor, you're gonna be a lender, you want to be a broker, apply those knowledge. Just don't collect them and not do nothing with it. You see? That's all it is.
So as a real estate coach, I wrote down, why do you question everything I say? But that's just for me personally. We'll get to that later. All right.
They learn how to just do it.
Yeah.
Just ask question later.
Yeah. No, I get it.
You're gonna be successful.
Yeah.
But do it.
Action, right? In the military, you got to take action, right? Because one delay in the military, you lose. You know?
Oh, you gotta go there. You gotta go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have time. You train for it.
Yeah. So you mentioned, all three of you mentioned discipline, structure to some degree. So here's the next question I have. In the military, like you said, you have a commanding officer. You have to be here. You don't have a choice. Okay, you have to do this at this time. You can leave at this time. Well, in real estate, there's nothing, right? You don't have a commanding officer. You don't have anything you have to be. So how do you stay disciplined? How do you keep yourself accountable without a commanding officer saying you have to do this at this time?
I would say my husband
All right.
is my commanding officer. You know, they say,
Hey, Joshua. There he is.
I know he'd like that.
And by the way, a new handbag would be nice with this
Yeah.
compliment.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
there's a price to these compliments.
So, you know, what we do here, you know, we've led very successful military careers. You know, I retired as a Navy chief.
Mhm.
But when you retire, you got to figure out, what do you want to do? How can you serve? And right now that we're back with our families, we want to keep their bellies fed, want to keep the roof over their heads, and that's who that's who was holding me accountable. So when I was just sharing earlier, my kids, I said, "Hey, I'm praying that we close escrow." And I said, "Boys, on the way to school, let's pray." And so they bowed their heads. I was driving, but they bowed their heads. And I said, "Lord Jesus, let us close escrow today." And they were game. They're 8 and 10 years old. And you know what they did this morning? They said, "Mom, my 10-year-old, Mom, you had us pray yesterday. Did you close escrow?" And I was thinking about what to say because it felt like it stuck, like it stung when they said that. "Mom, did you close escrow?" And I was like, before I say no, let me just tell them, thank you for your prayers. Everything that was supposed to get signed yesterday actually got signed, and we're closing today. And they were actually excited. They were actually excited.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Some people thrive with a lack of accountability, and some people thrive with it. And then you have some people that thrive whether it's there or not. A lot of people will say, "Hey Ron, how you stay motivated?" He's like, "Oh, I'm not motivated. Angel keeps me motivated." So they'll come to me and they're like, "How do you stay motivated?" I'm like, "Oh, Ron keeps me motivated." So family, I love going on vacation. I love spending quality time with my family. We're going to Puerto Rico in a couple months. Then we're going to go to Dominican Republic. Then I think I forgot what the list is like. I think Hawaii after that. But like Tefani, I enjoy spending time with my family, and I know it's not automatic. So I'm going to help people achieve the American dream, so I can continue to travel and give those experiences to my family. It also helps that having an accountability partner. So Ron, I call him my little big brother. He keeps me accountable.
Is that because he's younger or shorter?
He's so he's older and shorter. So that's my big little brother. Yeah. When I met Ron, he was a chief. I was E6, he was E7. And I said, wow, number one, he's down to earth. I mean, the two, his knowledge is there, which is rare because a lot of people have knowledge and they're just, they're selfish.
Yeah.
But he has knowledge and he shares it. He doesn't gatekeep. But the accountability, having an accountability buddy, a lot of people will go up to me and Ron and say, hey, what's helped you in making Master Chief, or what's helped you in real estate or with loans, and have an accountability partner. Don't go at it alone. And I think that's been very beneficial, not only for us individually, but to create the team that we have. We're approaching 30 really good quality people on our team, and we want it to continue growing.
Yeah.
We've got a couple interviews next week for other realtors doing really good in other companies, and they want to join Gold Locker Realty. And so they're like, hey, we heard you guys got a solid team. They want to be a part of a family. They want to be a part of a team. And so they're seeking some type of accountability.
Right.
And a lot of people seek that. As a Navy recruiter, I realize a lot of people join because they want some type of structure.
Yeah.
And so the accountability, they want to be held accountable for something. Maybe they don't want to go to college. They want to travel. They want stability with finances, but they do want some type of accountability. So if you can find an accountability buddy or two or three or four, or, you guys are going to help each other out, because you're not going to wake up 100% every day.
Yeah.
And if you wake up at 80, someone's going to give you the extra 20% you need that day to get stuff done.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. That's it. It's interesting on the accountability partner. I know a guy that he has multiple accountability partners, like you said, and if he doesn't get up at the time he has to get up, he has to send a message to every single one of them. And he says, it would take me longer to send a message to every single one of them than it would for me to just get up and go do what I have to do. So, sometimes just the fact you have to do something will get you there. But
For me, I get excited about this gig.
uh-huh.
I'm so excited about this. We were talking about me and Angel was talking about this yesterday. I said, dude, it's the energy we have. We still have energy. We retire. A lot of folks, when they retire, I feel like they're done.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I just want to chill. We understand.
Mhm.
I got folks that retire the highest level, and I don't want to lead no one when I retire. This is different. When we look at this gig, we get so freaking excited because everything that we learn in the military, we can apply it here, and there's no cap. So if you're lazy, I don't want you to pay me a penny. But if we work as hard as we did in the military, I don't want you to give us a limit to only make 250,000 a year, $500,000 or $1 million a year.
Mhm.
So we work our butt off and build a team like we did in the military.
Mhm.
And you're talking about you could build an empire.
Yeah.
And the same system that we already have at Century 21.
Mhm.
Why not put it to use and put ourselves to the test if we could actually do it?
Yeah.
And that alone excites me to build a team and a team of folks that are willing to help a lot of military invest their housing money into real estate vice being stuck renting or staying in the military housing, and then realize when they're done with the service, since they've been staying in military housing for so long, that they don't understand that their military is not going to give you housing anymore when you retire. So the purpose of just helping a lot of folks achieve that level of success, we've helped a lot of folks in the military promote because of our rank in the Navy, right? We were sitting the boards and actually selecting folks to promote for the big Navy.
Mhm.
But doing it here, I think it's I'm more excited than ever. We are E4 right now in real estate. So in the military, E4 is like 3 years. E5 probably about 4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
E6 maybe 7, right? And then chief or gunny maybe like 10 years.
Mhm.
So imagine, I can't only imagine where we're gonna be as a chief
Yeah.
in real estate and lending.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't even sleep because I'm so excited. I mean, Romo and Georgina can attest to this because I text them when I wake up 2 a.m.
Yeah.
and text everybody and say, wake up.
Yeah.
I send them a book to read because I feel like we should build leaders, not
Mhm.
followers.
Sure.
So if they read the stuff that I read, they're building leaders.
Yeah.
And then you're changing their mindset to be stronger because in this life, you will get knocked down few times. Real estate, lending, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
But if you shield your brain, your mindset with positivity and good enforcement, you're gonna be solid. There's nothing that can phase you.
Right.
So I get excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I hope one of the things I hope everyone kind of got from that is, yeah, he's talking about helping military families buy houses, the American dream. Okay, maybe you're not helping military families, but if you've ever worked with a first-time home buyer or a buyer in general, there's not many things more exciting in real estate than handing the keys to someone who just bought a house.
True.
Okay, so I hope everyone took that as not just them, the military, but that excitement of helping people buy a house, that excitement of helping people sell a house and take the money to either buy a bigger house or retire with it or cash out. I mean, that's really the beauty of this job.
Mhm.
Is if you look at it from that perspective, we really are helping people
Absolutely.
do a lot of things. So I hope everyone kind of got that aspect to keep you excited. I mean, if you can't get excited to get up and help someone buy a house, then this is just not the industry for you, right? I know we talk about sellers and I want you to take listings, but if you can't get excited to help somebody do that, it's just not for you. Okay, and that's okay. Give me your database, we'll work it, right? It's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good. So no, very, very, very good stuff there. I want to switch gears here a little bit and just go to just straight real estate stuff here. So what are because all three of you both in real estate and lending are generating leads, you're generating business, you're closing deals. So what are the main lead sources that you're working to generate your business?
So I use Mojo,
Okay.
Mojo Dialer, which for me is a lot because I'm a listing agent, and you guys said go get listings, so
Yeah.
I'm doing that very well now.
Yes, you are.
But Mojo Dialer helps me circle prospect.
Mhm.
And so what I do is I put that listing in there and I'm sharing the information about the listing.
Yeah.
And so that one is one of my greatest, like my best source.
Is generating the listings and then calling around the neighborhoods.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
And door knocking
Door knocking.
and getting out there. We call it staying on the deck plates in the military.
Yep.
But just being out and about. Sometimes the office can be a little dry, but is what you do while you're here.
Hint, hint. Hint, hint. Might be a little dry.
It can be a little
Hint,
dry,
hint.
but we have the tools and the resources to be successful with when we're in the office and being intentional. So one of the other things I would say is for my business, I did make the decision to get into coaching, Mike Ferry coaching,
Mhm.
and I am on a strict schedule.
Yeah.
So that schedule has built in lunchtime, built in family dinner time, but it also has 3 hours of prospecting.
Yeah.
And just getting through the numbers is what helps me get more buyers and more sellers
Got it.
and to get things sold.
You know, it's interesting, and I'll say a thing about it's Fanny. You started with us 3 years ago,
Yes.
right? And it was as a newer licensee
Yes.
agent. And I remember the first year, I mean, you were doing all the work and you were generating some business, but it was like, she's doing the work. She's doing the work. And then year 2 came and it was like, oh, wow, look at the work is starting to pay off. And I remember you saying, I want to get 20 listings. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go. Where are you at? Where are you at? And you got close. And now here
17.
we are in year 3 and you're going, hey, everybody, I've got 8 listings. Who can help me host open houses? You know? And so it really is, first of all, a congratulations to you. But we saw it. Oh, I saw it. I'm sure everyone else did too. That even that first year of like, hey, as long as you just stay on it. And here we are, year 3. You're doing some really. You were an award winner last year. This year, you're going to be even higher. So
Centurion.
very. But I mean, it's just to show that you just got to stay on it. You got to
Yes.
stay consistent with it. Very cool. Stuff.
Yes.
Angel, what about you? Where does your business come from?
So I personally like meeting people. So Ron and I do a lot of home loan seminars, and we just go to different locations, get those done. So early in the morning, I knock out my social media. Any listings that I have that's over 900K, they all come from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your 6-figure resume having corporate folks. So it's the maturest social media platform out of all of them. Facebook is really good, Instagram. So early in the morning, probably by 7 or 8, I already posted 3 or 4 times for the day. You know, it could be in escrow, offer accepted, client housewarming party, which is very underutilized. You close with a client, throw them a housewarming party, shoot a couple of pictures and video and be like, hey, this was fun. There's a lot that realtors do that they don't capture or let people know. So you kind of go from like a real estate agent to a secret agent. Then you got realtors that they'll go in that back refrigerator looking for cold leads. But like all the folks wanting to buy or sell, they're outside the front door. You know what I mean? So it's like go meet people. And Facebook makes it easy because you can go to local events and there's like a Raising Cane's or a Starbucks grand opening. Go meet someone, let them talk about themselves, and like the last 60 seconds, airdrop your card or let them know, hey, I'm a realtor if you ever need anything. People hit me up, hey, remember we met at that I think it was an antique show. I don't remember, but like, of course I did. Yeah, what's up? What's going on? And I'll say, yeah. It's like, oh, my daughter wants to buy a home. Absolutely. Let's go do lunch so we could talk more about that. So I like getting in front of people and talking because it's more lasting. When people hit me up on social media, it's cool because a lot of them I've never met. And they'll say something like, yeah, I've been following you for a while. I'm rooting from the sidelines. I would have never known because they never like hit a like or a comment. But that's the best part is a lot of realtors are like, I don't get any likes. I don't get any comments yet, but look how many people view it. Right. It might be thousands, it might be thousands. So I think social media is really big. Meeting people, going to events is really big. Most of my listings have come from referrals from people that's like, hey, yeah, I've been following you for a while. It's like, oh yeah, we're actually friends. I had no idea. When I retired from the military in 2022, I think I had about 1,600 family and friends. And now through all 6 platforms, it's over 20,000. I don't know the majority of these people. I'll put something very simple, very 30 or 60 seconds about real estate. And then, hey, friend requests and follows. And by now you can be able to tell whether a profile is fake or not, like it's a bot. You don't know how to do that, hit me up. I'll show you if it's a real person. But if it's a real person, yeah, I'll let them follow me. I'll friend request them. They're looking for some real estate info and maybe a transaction happens down the road,
For the fellas out there, if it's a very, 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 very attractive woman, it's probably a bot. Okay, just so we're all clear on that, don't get too excited. All right, go ahead, buddy.
So for me, it's 2 things, right? You gotta find your niche, Mine's military. 99.9% of my clients are military, and then adding value.
Okay.
So I found my niche, and all the videos I do is nothing but adding value. Do I get? Am I thinking about who am I going to serve or whatever case may be? I made myself to be the expert when it comes to VA loan. So anyone that asks about VA loan, I want to be able to answer what they need when it comes to VA loan. So do 1 minute, a minute and a half video regarding VA. And probably if you look at my social media, I probably did over 50 different videos.
Mhm.
And from those videos, since it's floating around, right? People watch it. And I now, after doing videos for the past 2.5, 3 years, now it's multiplying. I used to get maybe one message a week asking for loans or buying a house. Now I get messages every day,
Mhm.
and it's so many, which is amazing. I have to distribute it to the team because it's all about sharing. Same thing in the military. We never worry about telling folks all the time. Don't worry about promotion. If you do the things you need to do, promotion will chase you. Real estate lending, do not worry about money. Worry about serving and adding value to folks, and the money will chase you, and the deals will chase you. That's a fact. So add value, find your niche, whether it's your neighborhood, military, firefighters, 55 and over, or first time buyer. Find it, stick with it. Do not stick with it for like a month. Say, oh, it's not working. No, you got to stick and stay. Pretend there's no plan B in the works. All you have is plan A. If you don't, finish your plan A or be successful, you're going to starve. That's all it is. If you think about plan B, like people, they're easy, or they quit right away with a plan A because they go to plan B because it didn't work, because they think plan B is escape. Don't worry about plan B. Plan A, stick to it all the way for at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
My mentor told me, first 2 years, you're not going to make money. Perfect. Watch me. You know what I mean? I mean, which is reality.
Yeah.
Think about it. The first 2 years, you might not make money. It's a fact. But you just gotta freaking go for it. Plan A all the way.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good point. You said something really interesting on, don't just provide value. Don't chase everything. And I tell people all the time, if you focus on money, you'll always be chasing the money. If you just focus on winning, the money will find you.
Absolutely.
And that is really the thing, is you gotta focus on, I want to win. I want to provide value. I want to do this type of stuff. The deals will find you.
Absolutely.
They will. Okay. But if you're just chasing the money, you'll just always be chasing.
Absolutely.
No, I think it's really great. Good. And I will say to both of you, I used you as an example yesterday on your social media, because I'm obviously I'm not very active on social media, but I do see some of your stuff. And what I want some people to take away of your success on social media is you are as authentic as it comes. And I know there's so many people focus on, oh my gosh, I got to get the right angle, the right camera. I got to have the teleprompter. And then I'm watching Ron Umali sitting at In-N-Out with his Centurion trophy, because if Michael B. Jordan can go to In-N-Out with his Oscars, then I can sit here with this. And I've seen videos of the two of you doing the Titanic scene on a balcony of a new listing. And I've seen all of this stuff, and cornhole tournaments and all these other things. So, what I want people to get from the audience, if you're listening, you're hearing them talk about social media, you got to be authentic with it.
Yep.
Like no one wants to follow someone that's just robot.
Yep.
You got to be yourself, but provide value in the meantime. So really, really cool stuff. All right. A couple more things I have here. And then Jesse, I don't know if anyone's put anything in the chat box, but so all three of you mentioned families. Okay, so they all have families, kids, spouses, things along those lines. How do you balance that? Okay, because military is very all in.
Oh yeah.
So how do you balance family, kids, personal life, and still be successful in your real estate life?
So I would say I had to build it in my schedule. So, but after real estate shuts down, I would say figure out what your kids need, what your families need, because just like we're gone in the military for months at a time. Sometimes we're gone for 6 months and you never see your spouse. You miss your birthdays for the kids, you miss holidays. But now it's like we're making it intentional to do the things that we've missed over the years. And we're making more, play dates with the kids. Mines are young, so they want to go to the park.
Yeah.
They want to go to the trampoline park, things like that. So it's more of just get out and do it. You
Yeah.
know?
Do you, and I know you kind of alluded to this earlier on your schedule, but do you have like a shut off time? Like, hey, look, this is family time.
Ugh. My husband just said no. So it is hard. I would say after the kids go to bed at 8.
Disadvantages of having family in the room.
The kids go to bed at 8, but I would say about 6 I try to leave the office or shut down any showings.
Yeah.
And just make the best of it.
Got it.
Hmm.
Okay.
I would say it's not a one size fits all, right? For some people, they don't stress that balance part, and some people are intentional. There's a certain time where I do shut off my phone, but based on what's going on, it might be different. It might be 6 p.m. one day, it might be 10 p.m. the next. It just depends. You know, if the kids are in bed earlier, if my lady doesn't want to watch some show I don't like, it just depends. It just depends what's going on. Whatever,
So so what I'm hearing here is depending on what TV show is on, depends on the level of customer service that your clients are getting at certain hours of the night.
they're always going to get good customer service. But like, my lady's favorite movie is White Chicks, and she could watch that. It's a great movie. I don't need to see it, 20 times a year. She knows the script, everything. It's amazing the way she knows the script. She should probably be a real.
Yeah, that's for where
Probably
she
be
got
real
it.
too,
Come on.
Yeah. But if you look at, okay, how successful do you want to be? And let's look at successful people. You know what I mean? This is tough. Whether you want to be a great athlete, a great military person, whether you want to be a great realtor. Right now, if I'm being honest, right now, no one in this room is spending time with their family, right? And when we're with our family, we're not spending time on our clients. So people are looking for this thing called balance, and they might strike it, they may not, but every day that you wake up, you're going to figure out, my son Marcus, he's got boxing session today. My daughter Gracie, one time, I think a good amount of us went to UWM, and 99% of the people that went, I know the Thompson were there, they all got on the same flight. And I remember you and we took a red eye.
Yeah.
Because our daughters had stuff going on that day.
Right.
So you and I were like, okay, family's number one. We got a little girl, right? We're a dad, girl dad. So I remember, and it was a red eye, and I saw you in the airport. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, oh yeah, my daughter had this. I'm like, oh yeah, my daughter had swim class. So we took care of business. Family came first, and I remember we took an Uber, and we got there while everyone was having breakfast.
Yeah. We
were on the flight. We took that 45-minute, and I was like, you know what, Robert, man, I thought you were like all hype. You're pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like I respect that. I respect the heck out of that.
Yeah.
And then you gave me some good. I think I was stuck on a listing. I was stuck with a client, and you fed me a little tidbit like, hey, you know what? If you did this, and I used that, and I closed that deal. But I just love the fact that, big company, you got this going on? Sounds great. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Right.
Everyone slept in, they had a good whatever. And then we knocked it out. Then we had a panel.
Yeah. I spoke and you had a panel and we did just fine.
Right. And I remember you were like, so you got your suit and tie somewhere? I'm like, no, I'm like Zuckerberg with my hoodie. Yeah. No, they're not coming to look at me. They're, not trying to impress anybody. This is it. I'm gonna give them what I've been doing thus far. And then after we were done, I think everyone went to go play Top Golf, right? That's where everyone went. I jumped on an airplane at 8 p.m. so I could go to my son's soccer game the next morning. Right. So maybe that's my balance. But if you're intentional on the phone with a client and you're intentional at home with your spouse or your person, significant other, and with your kid, then I think if you can find that, whatever that, I'm very careful to say the word balance because it stresses people out and they've got to figure and they got to write all this stuff down. But just be intentional. Like when I talk to Grant or Jonathan, these guys are so down to earth. Every time I see them, they dab me up and they give me this like brotherly hug. Like I'm the oldest out of 9 siblings. And so when we hug, when we meet, it's like you hold it in for a while.
Yeah.
These guys hold it in for a while. Like they're like, oh, these guys are pretty cool. So with everything you do, if you just be intentional, then I think everything else falls into place. So hopefully all that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would like to add, include the family.
Yeah.
Include the family so that they're out there when I'm door knocking. Sometimes the kids want to go for a walk. I just want to get steps in, and they're just like, Mom, let's go. I'm working on my 15-year-old daughter. She's a daddy's little girl, but you know what? While I got mama's boys, they gonna do what I'm doing and they really enjoy it.
No, I like that balance because I think I learned it from the military as well. So when I was in, my wife could tell you, 28 years. I don't think she knows exactly what we did because whenever we have issues at work,
Sounds terrifying, by the way.
yeah,
Oh, when you say it that way.
she don't know what's going on. She doesn't. I don't bring issues from work to home. That's how I balance my life. Even in real estate, no wonder my friends were laughing at one time where we went to this dinner. It's called the Khaki Ball for the Chiefs. And my wife's telling, oh man, my husband, he's always happy, he's good. Lucky thing he doesn't have any problem at work. And all the chiefs and senior chiefs were like, man, you crazy. You will not make that pay grade, that rank without having a lot of issues to solve.
Yeah.
So my thing is knowing the fact that you can separate your professional life to your personal life. Same thing here. They don't need to know what the issues are.
Yeah.
Just have that separation. I think I got good at the separation part when it comes to professional and personal life. They don't even know what's going on with the real estate deal. Everybody thinks, I'm making it look so easy. Even my wife thinks it's easy.
Yeah.
Because she don't hear any problems.
Yeah.
Right? It's so simple.
Yeah.
What? You closed another deal, you got another escrow, all this. Everybody watching my social media thinks it's easy.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a realtor when they retire from the military.
Yeah.
And my wife is like, babe, everybody wanted to be a mass chief when you're a mass chief because you're having a good time. But the moment they made chief, they stop striving to become a senior chief or mass chief because it gets tougher.
Yeah.
Same thing in real estate or lending. So that balance gotta be there, but you gotta pursue on what you want.
Yeah.
Now, when people say, hey, when me and Brother Angel talk to a lot of folks and say, hey, why don't you come here? I can show you, how to make more money and keep more for yourself. I said, dude, if you're gonna tell me how to make more money, we know exactly how to make more money. We're not willing to spend more time to make that money. That's I have a certain limit on what I want to do.
Yeah.
If you can show me how to make money with less time, then I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna tell me I show you how to make money, but I have to do this, and that, and then some, I already sacrificed a lot.
Yeah.
Now it's different. The reason why I'm doing this and having a good time, because we just want to work to travel.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm working. We plan, like, where are you going next time? Oh, okay. How much is this? 10, 15 grand? That means I got to sell a house.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how I look at traveling. But probably a couple of loans here, one house here, and then we're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Simple.
A couple of things, and then we'll wrap up here in a couple minutes, but a couple of things I wanted to mention. You talked about getting the family involved. And one of the things that I always try to get people and with kids, because I hear this all the time as a coach, well, I got the kids. And two things is, one, if you get the kids involved, they become an asset. If you don't get them involved, they become a liability. Okay. Because when you get them involved, they'll go door knocking with you. They will pray with you. Like you say, they'll be excited. If you don't, then they're pulling you away. They don't know. They think it's easy, right? They think you're not, you got to get them involved. The other thing with kids is, we hear this all the time is, oh, well, yeah, I can't do this because of the kids. And I always think, man, could you imagine if your kids could hear you right now? Could you imagine you're telling me you can't generate, 2 listings this month or 2 escrows this month because you got this and this with the kids? Could you imagine if your kids overheard you right now?
Oof.
They would be devastated, thinking that they are the reason mom and dad are not achieving their goals. So stop using your kids as an excuse and use them as motivation, which is what the three of you do with your families, right? So, so I'm glad you touched on that. And then to Angel's point on the balance, everyone's got to find their own balance. You mentioned getting up early. I'm up at 2:30. Robert, why do you get up at 2:30? Because in order for me to do all the things I want to do at the pace I want to do it, that's just what time I have to get up. Because that way when I've already done my workout, I've played with the dog. So when my daughter is having breakfast, guess what? I'm right there having breakfast. I'm already suited, I'm already ready to go, instead of, oh, but I need my sleep, and then you're rushing, right? I still, to this day, when I go to San Francisco, which I'm going to go in a couple weeks, what's the first flight? 6 a.m. Great. I'll be on the 6 a.m. flight. I'll land there at 7:30. My first presentation will be in San Francisco at 9. And then I go to this, and then it's like, let's go. It's not, oh, I need to fly there the night before. No. I got a wife. I got a daughter. I got 3 dogs. No. I'll be on the first flight out. So there's ways to find your balance, but is kind of what you just said. You got to find the motivating factor. Like, what is it you want to accomplish? So really good points in terms of that. And I do actually remember the tip I gave you on that car ride. That was a fun car ride. Last thing I have, because I know we're a little bit over time, is we've covered a lot of different things here today. So just some lasting thoughts for everyone in the audience. Give 1 to 2 pieces of final advice, anything that maybe Nazmin said that I want to take my real estate career, my lending career to the next level, wherever I'm at. What's 1 or 2 pieces of advice you would give? Final pieces.
So I wrote it on my little 5x7.
Oh, I'm glad I asked this question.
3x5, whatever this is. So the questions that help me is, what did I do right today? And if you're in real estate, that's a question you got to ask yourself at the end of the night. What did I do right today? Because you got to identify that so that you can, keep growing your business. Where did I get off track today is very important. So when you get off track and then all of the excuses, oh, well, I didn't hit my numbers because XYZ. Well, it's important to identify where you got off track. And then what would I do better tomorrow? So I use the previous day to look at what happened and look at my goals, stay on track for my goals, and try to be a better version of me tomorrow.
That's great.
I would say have fun because life is short. So you got to have fun. Ron gets up super early. We'll text each other on something, and it could be 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Doesn't matter. But I'm having fun. I love the fact that he's having fun. Tiffany's having fun. Have fun because life is short. Several years ago, when I was still in the military, casting director came up. It's like, hey, we want you on an extra in the show. I'm like, I'm in the military. I don't have time for that. They're like, no, you got to be in there. They kept hounding me at the commissary. I'm like, what show is this? It's called The Last Ship. I'm like, who's in it? Anybody I know? And they're like, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so, Rhonda Mitra. I'm like, Rhonda Mitra? And I don't know if you guys know Rhonda Mitra, but she was in Underworld and a bunch of other movies, like a B-lister. I'm like, you get me a scene with her, I'll be in it. and they got me a scene with Rhonda Mitra at The Last Ship, huge pandemic going on in the world. And the antibiotics, Rhonda Mitra has it, and she's on the last ship. And it was one of DDG's out in San Diego. So I got a cool scene where she she shot it at me and I wasn't going to die. But on that set, I met Eric Dane. And Eric Dane passed away a couple months ago from MLS. And he was the nicest guy ever, super young. I think he had 2 daughters, 50-something-year-old. I think he was on Grey's Anatomy. His nickname was McSteamy.
Yeah.
McSteamy, right?
Sure.
So I've never watched the show.
Yeah.
I've never watched the show, but when we were on set, and he's like, "You're real life," and I was scene chief at the time before I made master. He's like, "You're a real life scene chief." I'm like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "What does this mean? How do I do this?" Because he wanted to be authentic as possible for that show, and he was such a down to earth guy. This is when he was getting ready to propose his wife, and we were just exchanging information. And I was devastated. I think it was a year before he passed away, where he made his diagnosis public,
Mhm.
you know, his MLS. And I followed it throughout the whole time because he was just such a cool guy where we crossed paths. So we don't know what tomorrow brings for us or our family. So have fun.
Mhm.
Don't take yourself so seriously. Take your clients, take the deals seriously, get those done, but don't take yourself so seriously that, you know, uh, whether family or friend or colleague passes away, you never got to say fill in the blank. You know, have fun and you know, show others the appreciation you have for them while we're still here, while they're still here. That's
Yeah.
what I have.
That's great. Great.
So for the folks that are listening, I'm not gonna tell you how, because you could go to YouTube and actually tell you how to be successful and whatever else you do. What I'm gonna tell you though is a little story that I heard when I was young. I was listening to this guy. He's a chief, right? One of the guys said, "Damn, chief, you're 50 something years old. You joined when you were 34. The cutoff for joining the military at the time is 34. So he's 54 years old, 20 years in the Navy. You're old and you're still in the military. This is hard. This young sailor is telling this chief, what you're doing is hard. You know what the chief told him? I said, you know what's hard, son? When you're sitting on a table with your family and the plates are ready, nice, you know, you got the plates and everything set up, and there's no food to eat. That's hard. So whatever I'm doing right now, even though I'm 54, it's nothing compared to what's really hard.
Mhm.
So that's the only thing I can say.
That's great.
You know, it's not about, hey, what do I gotta do? How do you do this? No. Everything is, all the information is there.
Mhm.
But you gotta stick to what you need to do to become successful. Do whatever you need to do to become successful, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Do not quit. That's it.
Yep.
So
That's fantastic. All right, I know we're probably a little bit over, so if you have questions for these three, put them in the chat box or send them to myself or Jesse, and I'm sure we'll get them to you. But I want to be respectful of everyone's time. So if everyone on Zoom, unmute yourselves. Everyone here, I want you to give these three an amazing round of applause for a variety of different reasons. But a lot of really
Good
great
job.
stuff. And I think what I love most about this is this was not your typical real estate lending thing where we're just talking about hammering expires and for sale by owners. This was a lot more authentic, a little bit of a different just mindset and how to do this. So I hope everyone here got a ton out of that. I hope everyone on Zoom got a ton out of it. I know I had a lot of fun doing this and took a lot of mental notes as well. So I'm really excited to listen to the recording so I can actually write down stuff. So thank you a million times over, and we appreciate all three of you. All right, thank you everybody. Thank you on Zoom. Glad you were able to do that.